In my last video, I asked you guys to request cartoon characters for me to redraw in the Hanna-Barbera style. So let's draw some! Okay, the first character requested is Timmy Turner, and I want to thank Simpsons16394 for the request. I got you. To make this even harder for myself, not only am I going to redraw Timmy, I'm going to redraw Cosmo and Wanda as well, because you can't have Timmy without Cosmo and Wanda. Before I start any project like this, I try to grab as much reference as possible. Timmy, Cosmo, Wanda, and even Hanna-Barbera characters, so I can quickly reference qualities they have that I'd like to add to my redesigns. Yay! And I guess now, I begin. For the head, I really like the pudgy cheek thing that Elroy's got going on. And for Timmy's body, I'm going to give him that distinct teardrop shape that so many Hanna-Barbera characters have. And for his pose, I want to give him that overused hand thing that like every cartoon stock image has. For historical accuracy. Okay, now eyes. Are we thinking white? Or just the pupils? I think we're gonna go with just pupils because it's slightly more vintage and slightly more in line with the generic Hanna-Barbera kid look. And we wanna milk every little bit of vintage that we can. Also, I'm giving Timmy a turtleneck to pay homage to the great neck pieces of Fred Flintstone, Yogi Bear, and literally everyone else. And I think that's Timmy. All right, Cosmo and Wanda time. We've got the same sort of design philosophy going on. We're going to give Cosmo that pudgy cheek thing and the teardrop body. But I think we're going to give him stringier legs like the Great Gazoo has. And then for the arm, I want to give him the limp Hanna-Barbera arm. What is the limp Hanna-Barbera arm, you might ask? It's when they just kind of like go like that in the design. It's just limp. Okay, I feel like I'm just turning him into George Jetson now. So let's grab a reference pic of George so it feels slightly more intentional. I think that's good. Maybe it could be slightly stronger, but this is early on in the video, so we're just warming up. All right, and now Wanda. Wanda gets some pearls. As we know, the pearls are controversial.
Why is Patrick growing up with a necklace like a woman?
But we gotta give Wanda some pearls. Should I give her a skirt? Does that feel regressive? Do we think the Hanna-Barbera character designers would have given Wanda a skirt? Yes. But we'll be progressive and we'll give her pants like her original design had. Yeah, that looks right anyway. Good call, good call. And here's our first trio. I'm really happy with them so far. I think you can really feel the vintage sensibilities. Maybe it's a little derivative in terms of Cosmo, but we'll work to avoid that for future characters. And speaking of future characters, the next character I will be redesigning is Winnie the Pooh, suggested by Etan Mr. Wolf 2528. Thank you. Once again, I think we're gonna need a companion character, so we're gonna draw Piglet too.
Okay.
Let's begin. I think I'm gonna do this from a different angle, actually. Yeah, that's better. Okay, then we're gonna give him the limp arm too. And, oh, wait. Pooh doesn't have a tail. I was gonna give him a tail. But it doesn't look like Boo Boo has a tail. And bears have tails, right? Bears have tails. Yeah, they do have tails. Why do none of these designs have tails? Well, to keep it historically accurate, I'm gonna give Pooh no tail. No tail for Pooh. But you know what I am gonna give him? The real ones know his honeypot hat from the late 60s, early 70s Disneyland costume. Of course. Do we like the muzzle? I feel like the muzzle makes him veer into Tigger territory. Say that 10 times fast.
Tigger territory, Tigger territory, Tigger territory.
Okay, guess that's not that hard. I think no muzzle. I think no muzzle. I think it's too Tiggery, and we don't want that. They're distinct characters. No muzzle for Pooh. And that's Pooh. I think it's Pooh. I don't think it's Pooh. I think it's Pooh. I think it looks like Pooh. But not Pooh, but it's Pooh. No. Piglet time. Wait, does Piglet have a tail? No? I'm giving him one anyway. Throw your historical accuracy in the trash. I need a way to prove that he's a pig. And there we are, Piglet. I think he was pretty straightforward. And I think they're a pretty cute pair. And I can't wait to see them colored. Our next request comes from Great Callie Skane. Hopefully I'm saying that correct. And they suggest the Powerpuff Girls. Now, before anyone comments something, I know that technically the Powerpuff Girls are already Hanna-Barbera characters. For the sake of this video, we're just going to pretend that they don't have any Hanna-Barbera history, and we're just doing something new and fresh. The problem I'm going to face redesigning these characters is that they already have such a simplified and graphic look to them, which is like the hallmark of Hanna-Barbera character design. So I'm going to have to work backwards and give them more detail so that they seem distinctly Hanna-Barbera while still retaining the simplistic qualities that make them the Powerpuff Girls in the first place. We'll figure it out. Let's see. Okay, I think this is a good base actually. I've got the pudgy cheeks, the teardrop body, and I'm trying to give them each a little bit of personality just to keep their designs individual and not too homogenous. And now's the hard but fun part, making these faces something else. I'm actually really happy with how these ones turned out. I think they look so much like Hanna-Barbera characters, but I think they still also look like the individual Powerpuff Girls. And I think they're gonna look even better when they're all clean and colored. I can't wait. I cannot wait. I think I've got time for one more, and this is one I've been dreading. I purposely left him out of the SpongeBob reanimated project that I did because I had no idea how I would interpret his design in the Hanna-Barbera style. So let's try it. Today, I will be redesigning Mr. Krabs, as suggested by Devin Richardson 747. I'm terrified, but I hope I do you proud. Because I think it's going to be borderline impossible to translate Mr. Krabs' elements into a vintage cartoon look, I'm also going to be referring to real crab designs. Okay, I knew what a crab looked like before this, obviously, but I don't know, I was just kind of thrown off when I saw this crab because I kind of envisioned him to be more Mr. Krabs-like, but it's not. It's a crab.
Hello, I like money.
Are there any Hanna-Barbera crab characters? Okay, it looks like a total of 1. Crabosaurus. That's Mr. Krabs if I've ever seen one. All right, I've got an interesting amalgamation of design reference here. And I think I'm just stalling because I'm nervous. So let's jump right in. That's kind of crab-like. Okay. Okay. All right, I'm gonna give him his eyes like he has in the original show, and this is the part that I think just throws the Hanna-Barbera design philosophies out the window, because I can't find a single character in the Hanna-Barbera canon who has eyes that extend off the head. And I'm getting rid of these claws. Okay, because yeah, look, I'd like to do his eyes like this because it feels more in line with the style. But then I think he starts looking like a bug or something, and I know no one's gonna like that. I know people are gonna say he looks like a bug now. Why did you make Mr. Krabs a bug? Why is Mr. Krabs a bug now? Okay, these claws are better. Okay, I have an idea. Please bear with me. Yes, I took some liberties. Mr. Krabs does not originally have a hat. He now has a hat. He also had a nose. He no longer has a nose. But I think truly I managed to retain the Hanna-Barbera isms while still distinctly making him look like a crab. And I think for that reason alone, this design is a success. But please, I'm sure you will tell me if I'm wrong. And please do. I'm throwing my pen. All right, the difficult part is now done. The characters are designed, the groundwork has been laid. Let's clean these babies up. Welcome to the beginning of the end. Way back at the beginning of this video, we started this journey with Timmy Turner, Cosmo, and Wanda. And now I present to you Timmy Turner, Cosmo, and Wanda, Hanna-Barbera-ized. Ultimately, I'm actually quite pleased with how they turned out. I think they're still so clearly the original trio, which is important when you're redesigning characters. And you want to make sure you retain that original essence, but they still feel retro. That's what we're going for. Again, my main critique for this one would be that Cosmo's face is essentially just George Jetson's. But when you think about it, reusing designs is kind of Hanna-Barbera's whole shtick. So we'll let this one slide. For the next reveal, we have Winnie the Pooh, but vintage.
Oh, bother.
I'm quite happy with these guys too. I think they represent the late 50s Hanna-Barbera aesthetic, where they were kind of at their most graphic and simple, and I'm really happy with how they turned out. All right, these ones I am most excited to show you. Here they are, Hanna-Barbera's The Powerpuff Girls. What can I say? I think their elements translated so well to the style, and that made translating the very simplistic designs so satisfying by the end of the process. At the beginning, very daunting, but once it all came together, just seeing them like this, I'm just super happy with how it turned out. Okay, now, the final character. The one I was most scared to tackle, Mr. Krabs, but Hanna-Barbera. Sue me, but I think I nailed it. I took many liberties, as I said. I will not deny that. But you have to remember that character designing for a show like SpongeBob has such a different philosophy than designing for a show like Yogi Bear or Huckleberry Hound. I think this version of Mr. Krabs would fit right in with the SpongeBob and Patrick from my reanimated video. And that's almost inspiring enough to animate another episode. Thank you so much for watching me redesign your requested cartoon characters in the Hanna-Barbera style. Are there any other characters that you'd like to see me redraw in this style? Let me know in the comments. And also let me know, did I do a good job? Are you happy with my redesigns? Do you think I could have improved some areas? I would love to hear your thoughts. I just want to take a moment to say, whoa! What the? It looks like I've turned myself into a Hanna-Barbera character. Well, anyway. Please subscribe. Does anyone know how to turn me back?